Hello, hello. How's it going? Hope everyone's good. Hope everyone's well. Bagwell says, hey, how you doing? Hope you're good. Harry says, hello, how are you? I'm absolutely boiling. I am dying in this heat. I'm not designed for this heat. I long for the return of winter. So, yeah, and I'm a bit scared of the kind of heat wave that's coming. I can't lie. I appreciate you on today. Yeah, I'm good, but not in this. What the hell's going on with my eyebrow? Yeah, surviving in the heat. Next Monday it's gonna be 30 degrees. So let's see how that goes. But yeah, all well, all good. Other than that, how about you? Hope you're doing well. Hope the football's going good. I was just gonna ask about that. I think we all are. Yeah, we're not designed for this heat, especially in England. Like, apparently, like a lot of our houses, they're designed to keep the heat inside. They're designed to kind of keep the heat inside. So like, we just end up kind of frying and kind of baking. But like, I got my fan, and I got another fan here. I'm just trying to balance it because if I put this one on. I don't know if that creates too much static. I don't know if that creates too much background noise. So I just got a little fan. Harry's going to post a video soon. Very nice, very nice. Is this the video of the VR game, the VR football game you were talking about yesterday, where you play with your hands? I'm excited to see that. Other than that, Harry's doing all right. Fish says, yo, Fish, how's it going, Fish? Hope you're good. Galaxy Multiverse says, how you doing, bro? I'm okay. Really hot. from a weather perspective, it's we're having a bit of a heat wave in the UK this week, but all good. Other than that, how about you? How are you doing? Hope you're well. AFC Dave, how you doing? Says, I need Chelsea tears today. That would be funny. I can't lie. That would be funny. Should we have a look at the teams here? They got a decent, like, they've put out a decent team, to be fair. Good old Chels. They got Sanchez, James, Adrabayo, Colwill, Cucurella, Caicedo, Lavia, Madueke, Palmer, Neto, Jackson. Looks pretty strong, I can't lie. Whereas LA, is this LA Galaxy? It must be, right? Like LA Galaxy. Or is this a different LA? Loris, and I'm not going to pretend I know who these MFs are, but yeah, Chelsea tears would be nice. Harry says, yeah, they are, because we're usually a cold country. Yes, I'm looking forward to the cold coming back. I can't lie. Johnny says, hello, welcome to the stream of the Best Streamers channel. I appreciate that, Johnny. I appreciate your support and your kind words. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you've had a nice day. And yeah, thank you for being here as always. Nice. Okay, so just for some context for everyone, Harry mentioned yesterday that he's playing a VR game. He mentioned he's playing a VR game on his VR headset, and I was like, how does that work? And he was basically saying that you kind of play with your hands, so your hands are your feet. So Harry's gonna upload it on his YouTube, Harry's Gaming video and music, and then we'll have a look there. We'll kind of see how it works. Orhan said hi. How you doing, Orhan? Hope you're good. Galaxy Multiverse says, do you support Liverpool? I do. I don't know if that's a Ronaldo picture because I'm on my computer, so I can't help, but I do. Johnny says hi, Fish. There you go. A lot of support for Fish. I thought of you today, Ben. I can't lie. I thought of you today when I saw the news came up. The news came up that the Wirtz medical was going to be on Friday, and I was like, okay, now I have the answer. Yesterday I didn't have the answer. And I was like, okay, if I see Ben today, I'm going to tell him it's on Friday. But Ben already knows. Ben's up to date with the news. So yeah, Wirtz medical this Friday, up the Reds. So yeah, that's the latest on that. He'll probably be back on holiday. I don't know, Wednesday maybe. And then he'll make a short journey over to Merseyside, and do his medical, and then we should be sorted. Apparently, the Kirkes deal is also progressing, apparently quite nicely. So that also might be wrapped up this week. Fingers crossed. Should be nice. Is Wirtz having part 1 on Thursday and part 2 on Friday? Do you know? That information hasn't been released. But if it is released, I will update you. As far as I'm aware, they've just said kind of Friday. But it could work like that. I do know sometimes they do split medicals over 2 days. And I think especially given the amount of money involved in this, they're going to want to do like the most advanced and perhaps not invasive, but you know what I mean. They're going to want to do the most detailed medical that they can do, just to ensure that nothing comes up. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did a 2-day medical. Galaxy Multiverse said, name a car for an edit and I'll make it. Ferrari, or does anyone else have a suggestion? Ferraris are pretty cool. Mazdas are pretty cool. Depends. What does everyone else want to see? And then I'll let Galaxy Multiverse know. Johnny says up the Chels today. Very nice. Very nice. BMW M5. There's a suggestion from Johnny. Johnny knows the specifics, you see. I'm like maybe a Ferrari, but Johnny knows the specifics of the type of car and the model. He's got better car knowledge than I have. Are you getting Wirtz on the Liverpool next home kit? I am. I think we gotta do it, right? The thing is, like, as weird as it sounds, I actually don't have Salah. I don't actually have a Salah kit, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking I might need to get Salah with the home kit in the red, and then Wirtz, maybe the green one. Was it the green one we were talking about yesterday? I've seen some people on TikTok, like they've got it already. They're wearing it. It looks really, really nice. So maybe Wirtz on that third one. M111 800 says, what kit is that? I think it's 92-93. I think it's like Liverpool 92-93 away kit. It's an old one. I didn't think it looked that nice, but then like I said, you know what, it's a bit different. Because I was worried like all the kits are. I was worried that all the kits were kind of red, if you know what I mean. So I figured, you know what, let's try a yellow kit. But yeah, quite happy with it, to be fair. Durwood says, hello, how you doing, Durwood? How you been? Hope you're well. Hope you're good. Hope the gardening is going well, and hope everything's going nicely. Do you know if this is LA, right? Do you know if this is LA Galaxy? Does anyone know that? I'm a bit curious. I should probably find that out. Sabaj Light 8 in the home, says Shani. That's a good suggestion as well. Come on, you spied on Pigeon. This is the thing that you told me to research yesterday, which I haven't done. I have to sincerely apologize for that. But I'll try and research this the next time. Galaxy says, got it, Johnny. So Galaxy is going to create a edit of a BMW M5. Fish says, hi, Durwood. Ooh, Ben says, who's your favorite Liverpool player right now? Right now, it's probably Ryan Gravenberch. I love Gravenberch. I love that kind of little turn that he does. You know when he gets the ball kind of facing the goal, and then he kind of goes and kind of turns the other way. I love that. I don't know why I love that so much, but I I kind of do. I just realized this match has started. I should probably set the timer. My timer's slightly ahead. Johnny says that Diddy's favorite club is Young Boys. You might be right about that. If he's a football fan, that's probably who he supports. It's Los Angeles FC. Okay. Yeah. Even the kind of, is it the score ticker thing? It says LAF. So Los Angeles FC. Spionero Golubino. This is the thing you told me to Google, Fish, which I haven't done, but I will do. No, this isn't LA Galaxy, says Derwood. So is this like a separate LA team? So does Los Angeles have two separate teams? So this is it like, London has multiple teams. That's news to me, but I guess I've learned something today. Gigi says Ronaldo or Messi. If I'm honest, Messi, but seeing as you have Ronaldo in your picture, I'm kind of compelled to say Ronaldo. But if I'm honest, I'd say Messi. As Ben says there. Ali says, any Liverpool player you'd send to Saudi? Probably Nunes. If I'm honest. Because Nunes is going to go anyway this season, and I think Saudi would be willing to pay a lot more money. So with that in mind, probably Nunes. But it feels a bit like a death sentence, the way you're phrasing it. Like, you know what I mean? Is there any Liverpool player you'd send to Saudi? Like, I am sending you. Off you go. It sounds a bit morbid, but all good. Ben's gotta go. Yeah, no worries, Ben. Take care. All the best. Angus says the Robbo is still good enough and Liverpool need to focus somewhere else. I agree with you. I've got a suspicion, and again, I don't have any more information than you guys do, but I've got a suspicion that Robertson said, I don't want to play as backup. Like, I don't want to play as backup to some 21-year-old kid. And so I feel like Robertson probably forced the ownership's hand, whereas with Nunes, it's perhaps the opposite, where the ownership is saying to him, yeah, mate, you gotta go. So I suspect that's what happened. I suspect Robertson put pressure on the ownership. So, you know what? I ain't being second fiddler to no 21-year-old. I'm going. Derwood says, I'm good. I haven't done much gardening. Have been sick. Oh, sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling a bit better now. I hope your recovery is going well. I think last time we were talking about kind of Canada. So I've been progressing that. Filled in my kind of visa thing that I have to do. So yeah, should be fun. Fingers crossed. Derwood says, hey Fish. We know that he loves balls, but we don't know about football. Is this another Diddy thing? Mo Salad, very nice. So do you think we'll win the league against next season? I think so. I think we will win the league again next season, but I think it will be a lot more tough. I think it's a lot harder to retain a league than it is to kind of win the league the first time. Because I think when you're trying to retain the league, then in some aspects you kind of have a target on your back, right? So I think it is going to be harder, but I think Liverpool will perhaps have too much quality. RL7 says, who do you think's winning the Ballon d'Or? Unfortunately, definitely not Salah. It's probably going to be Dembele, if I'm honest with you. But it is what it is. Yes, they have LAFC and LA Galaxy, right? Okay, that makes sense. I presume LAFC is like the other team, and LA Galaxy is the main team. I presume. But I got no idea. They're doing alright though here, LAFC. Saudi won't accept Nunes. You're right about that, Johnny. You are right about that. They won't accept him without a receipt or some sort of return to store policy. But you never know. It's worth a try. The thing is with Nunes, like, he's linked with Napoli and he's linked also with Saudi. But what I've noticed is whenever he's linked with Saudi, the price that he's kind of rumored to go for is a lot higher than the price he's linked with for then the price he's linked with for Napoli. So I'd rather send him to Saudi, to be honest. Fish asks us Pionero Golubino versus Bri Bicus Dicus. Who's cuter? The second one, because I'm not too familiar with the first one. Johnny says hi Durwood. High 7 says make the score better on the screen, make the team's logos instead. I could, but then that's even more work, man. That's even more work. On the YouTube thumbnails that I create, I put the logos on there. I mean, I could do because I have to create put the logos on the YouTube thumbnail anyway, so I have to download them anyway. So yeah, I'll look into an easy way of doing that if I can. Johnny's prediction is 4-1 for Chelsea. Nice. So you think LA, I was going to say LA Galaxy, but we know now that it's not LA Galaxy. So you think LAFC will get a goal? Let's hope so. They have these mighty strikers up front. I don't know why I sounded so Welsh there. It was like mighty. That wasn't supposed to come out Welsh. They've got Ordaz. They've got Ebobisi and Buanga. I think Buanga will score. Partly because he's number 99. So let's hope so. 4-1 would be good. 4-1 would be good. I hope it's a competitive game at the very least. Fingers crossed. I mean, it's only been like 10 minutes, but to be fair, again, I was going to say LA Galaxy. LAFC are not doing too badly. You know, they're keeping the ball, they're passing it around nicely. Again, I don't know who any of these players are, so I'm just going to say the right back. But the right back looks alright. The central midfielder also looks alright. Delap's first game. Oh wow, you're right. I didn't even notice that. Fish is bang on the money as always. They've given Delap the number 9 shirt as well. That's a bit what's the word? Brazen. That's a bit brazen, giving him the number 9 shirt. But hey, it shows a level of confidence in the player, you gotta say. They got Santos on the bench, Fernandez on the bench. I'll be honest, I didn't even know Delap was in the squad, so I'd like to see him come on. I'd like to see what he can do in a good team, because Chelsea are a good team. Chelsea are another team who I think could be quite threatening next season. Caicedo needs to wake up. I don't know if he's spent all of his time kind of dyeing his hair, but like he keeps kind of getting beaten quite easily. Exactly, yeah. As AFC Davis said, why do LAFC low-key look better? I know what you mean. I'm like, you know what? They're not actually doing too badly, and like they keep bypassing Caicedo. I think Caicedo has spent too much time dyeing his hair and not enough time training. But I mean, they look pretty full of energy at the moment. Is this ref struggling to... it's his microphone, right. The ref just went and like bent over in front of like the assistant ref, and I was like, what are you doing? But he's just sorting his microphone out. AFC Dave says Cole Palmer's having a stinker. Yeah, hasn't been too great so far. I'll be honest. I know it's only been 12 minutes, but I didn't expect this much of a fight from LA. But good for them. Good for them. Lavia's back. Yeah, Palmer on the right there. They perhaps need to move him a bit more central. Empty stadium again. This competition is awful. I mean, just look behind the goal. You see all those. That is a lot of empty seats. I kind of wish I was there, because were you saying yesterday it's like $4 for a ticket, which is nothing. I would totally go. Even behind the Chelsea goal, like, all those seats are empty. Bob says Madueke has such little end product. I'm with you, Bob. I've never been the kind of biggest fan of Madueke or Jackson, to be honest. I'm like, they get very flustered, and they kind of, they get into it, but then nothing comes out. Nothing kind of comes out at the end. As I say that, he might get an assist. No. I'm just hating because Arsenal are not in it. Fair enough. Fair enough. It is interesting, to be fair. It is interesting, to be fair, that you'd presume this is like a money making exercise to a certain degree, kind of forcing players to play after the season is over. But equally, I'm curious as to kind of how many sales they've got of tickets. Man, you could just buy a ticket for that row, and you could have like the entire section to yourself. Oh no, there are some people sitting there, but even then, if you see the section behind the goal with kind of the black seats, it's kind of pretty empty. Paper JLHQ Oz says they confirmed the 3 greatest players ever in history. The Football Foundation confirmed it. Number 1, Messi. Number 2, Pele. Number 3, Maradona. Nice. Where's Darwin Núñez? They have missed the Uruguayan superstar. Oof! Even in the stands, like on the far side with the red seats. It is what it is. I think AFC Dave was saying I'm hating because Arsenal are not in it. I'm hating because I'm not there. Because if I was, I'd love to go. You know what I mean? D says cricket. I'll be honest. I know absolutely nothing about cricket. I've been to 1 cricket match in my life. I enjoyed it, but generally speaking, I don't know much about cricket. I like watching football. I like watching UFC. I like watching boxing. I like watching, like World's Strongest Man. I like watching that, but never really any cricket, to be fair. Johnny says Cold Palmer will get hot in USA. I see what you did there. I was like, yeah, he might get hot, but then I see the play in words. I see the play on words. AFC Dave says this competition been awful so far, though. Yeah, it is like a money thing. It is 100% a money thing. Which kind of leads me to ask kind of how much money are they making, because the stadium does seem kind of quite empty. Paper says it's confirmed. I'm serious. Lol. That foundation. I can't remember their name. I'm gonna have to say, if you remember the name, let me know. I'm gonna send them an official complaint and say they need to add a particular Uruguayan striker to their list, and I'm not talking about Suarez. Johnny says Sonny is not here again. He was there yesterday. He was there. I think it was after you left, but Sonny did come at the end yesterday, and I was like, Johnny was waiting for you. Which then kind of, I mean, I forgot to kind of ask Sonny, like, isn't it really late for you? But yeah, Sonny was there yesterday. Paper says, what's your football IQ like? If I'm honest, probably average at best, but in reality, probably below average. Like, I know everyone thinks that they're kind of geniuses about football, but I'm like, yeah, I know some things, but like, I probably know more about computers, for example. I work with computers, so I probably know more about that. I mean, to be fair, the players don't mind it. They're living their life over there. Very true. Who's the most complete player ever? That's Darwin Núñez, as always. You can get any view from different seats. Very true. Very true. I'm one of those people, like, I would move my seat if kind of no one turns up. Riley says hello, my friend. Hello, Riley. How you doing? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Madison says hi. Hi, Madison. How you doing? Hope you've had a nice day so far. Johnny says, who's the GOAT? Messi, Ronaldo, or Fish? Fish is the GOAT. Fish is the GOAT. A says, can you hack into the mainframe? I can on Sundays, but not on Mondays. On Mondays I'm too tired. Fish says, who's your god? You are, Fish. You are the god of everything. Paper says, why are you obsessed with Darwin Núñez? I'm not. It's just the easy silly answer to kind of give to everything, to be honest. If you are a G, then I understand. No, it's okay. I mean, if you've got a question, let's go for it. Perhaps somebody in the chat could answer it. Yeah, only mainframe hacking on the weekends, unfortunately. Johnny's friend can. And Malawi says, haha, I love that you like Darwin. He's the man. He's the man. G meaning can't do. If anyone doesn't know what that means, that basically means like asshole. By the way, no offense, I'm being serious. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. This is laid back. Like nobody's particularly serious here. Everyone just kind of chills out here. We are as unserious as Chelsea are right now, given that they're still 0-0. I don't know how I feel about Caicedo with blonde hair. Speaking of hair, here's Cucurella. I thought we were going to get a goal there. I thought we were going to get a goal. Paper says, I've been watching football for over 30 years. I've never seen anyone even close to Messi, do you think? I hear you. I was gonna give my thoughts on that, and then with the follow-up question, I think you might have kind of answered it, where you say, will it be possible to ever see a player like that again? It will be possible. I do think it's possible. I guess the question is it likely? I would say, is it likely? Probably not. But is it possible? Yeah. Because like for me, like in my opinion, I feel like kind of sports, kind of like sports science is kind of always evolving. People are getting faster. People are getting stronger. Just look at like what a 30-year-old looks like today compared to like 20 years ago. Diets are getting better. Training is getting better. There's kind of more opportunities. So I think it could happen. But whether it will, probably not. But if it does happen, like I wouldn't be surprised. Paper says, I've never seen anyone even close. Like not even close, bro. The guy's a whole team, and he doesn't even try. Yeah, but bro, even this year, no one is close. He's just gifted differently. Yeah, I think you're right as well. He does have a certain level of kind of natural gifts that even how do I say this? A certain level of kind of natural gifts which are kind of very unlikely to repeat themselves. But again, I wouldn't say impossible. Like what? Like if you said, what's the chance? Maybe like 10% chance. But you never know. It feels a bit like when people like see a computer game. This is probably a really bad example. But when people see a computer game and they're like, oh my god, I've never seen kind of graphics that realistic ever. Like graphics can never get better. Like in my opinion, like graphics for computers, they always get better. And I think football in general, I feel like the standard of kind of football in general kind of always gets better. So it wouldn't surprise me. But if you ask me to bet on it, so you said, I'll give you £1 million, like, and you have to say whether someone will be better than Messi or they won't, then I'll say, nah, they won't. If you know what I mean. I don't know if I've explained that terribly. Paper hates Messi, but he still respects it. Dot says, who is this Messi? Paper loves football and he's just the god of football. True, I hear ya. As I was saying, I think it's very unlikely that we'll get someone better. But if there is someone better, it wouldn't surprise me. Fish says hi to Malawi. Messi is backed by a certain tribe when it comes to a lot of his. Samuel says, hey bro, love your streams, man. Appreciate the support, Samuel. Hope you're good. Hope you've had a nice day. My day has been annoying because it's too effing hot. So I got a fan, like literally blowing on my face. But I'll put it on low so that it doesn't kind of go into the microphone. But yeah, I hope you're good. Not unlikely, bro. Almost impossible is logic. Basic, simple logic. Again, I don't know. I'm reticent to kind of say anything is impossible if it's already happened once, if you know what I mean. Again, I'm not saying there's definitely going to be somebody better than Messi in 5 years. But if somebody does come along, it wouldn't surprise me. Samuel says, mate, do you watch football? Nah, I hate football. I detest football. Football's literally the worst. Ben says, what's your favorite thing about Wirtz? Probably his creativity. His creativity and how deceptively kind of strong he is. Tupic says, hi. How you doing, Tupic? Paper watched Zico, Zidane, Ronaldo and Maradona. Quite the elite list there. Samuel says, do you go live on TikTok? Nah, I've never done that before. Maybe I'll do it one day. But it's not something that I've ever done before. It's not something that I know how to do, to be fair. It's TikTok confuses me. I don't even have a TikTok account, so maybe one day I'll do it. Malawi says hi. How you doing, Malawi? Mo, who's an Everton fan, Says you don't realize the improvement if you watch something every day. Watch footy 20 years ago, the difference. Yeah, that kind of leans into what I was saying. Kind of what I feel. Like even watching stuff from like the 2005 final, like to me it just feels like the standard, definitely from a physical standpoint, is a lot higher now than kind of what it was. And I just feel that kind of everything kind of progresses with time. Like Messi to a certain degree had physical gifts, but equally I feel like he's a product of his environment. He's a product of food at the time. He's a product of sports science at the time. So it wouldn't surprise me if somebody of a similar kind of quality came along. And they ain't even close, all of them combined. All of them combined, I would say. So if you're saying Zico, Zidane, Ronaldinho, Maradona, I'd say all of those combined are better, surely. In the sense that if you've got Team A just with Messi and 10 randomers, but you've got Team B, which is these 4 and then 6 randomers, I'll take Team B. Ben says, do you like football? Nah, I hate football, man. Football's the worst. Football is just so boring. Samuel says, are you wearing a hat? That's a good question. I actually don't own any hats. I don't own any hats. I don't own any caps. And just to extend that point a bit further, I also don't own anything in blue. And I also don't own anything in yellow. So that's just a general overview there. Malawi says, what do you think about 8 million for Robbo? It is what it is. It is what it is. Like with the Robertson situation, I have a feeling that Robertson perhaps didn't put in a transfer request, but I think Robertson seems like a player with an ego. And again, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't a bad thing, and you can certainly make the argument that all the good players have an ego. But Robertson strikes me as someone with an ego who would say, you know what, there's no chance in hell that I am playing second fiddle to a 21-year-old, therefore I want to go. So I would suspect that Robertson put a bit of pressure on the ownership and the leadership to say, you know what, I want to go. So then the leadership are like, oh shit, we better see what we can get for him. I mean, if it's only 8 million, then to be fair, we paid 8 million for him and we got his best years, so it is what it is. Mo says the technical ability isn't as important as it was their athletes now when they were just technical. Yeah, I hear ya. It's like the way I've explained this once to someone. This is the way I think of it. Like technical ability is like being really good at karate. You know, you know all the kicks, you know all the punches, but physical ability is like having a gun. So it's like you can kind of know all the punches and kicks, but like physically, if a bullet goes at 1,000 miles per hour, you ain't gonna do much. So that's the kind of, and again, it's not a perfect analogy, but it's kind of the way I've always thought of it. And I think in the future, players will be even more kind of physical. So let's see. Imagine he tried. What do you think of PSG, bro? Yeah, PSG are good. PSG are good. Probably the best team this year, to be honest. Good defensively. Good attack. Good midfield. Scary team. They'll probably win this competition as well, if I'm honest. But kind of without even trying. Fish said, you're joking. No, I don't own any hats. I don't own any Liverpool shirts either. Kirkes said, oh, sorry, I was going to say Kirkes said. Ben said Kirkes next year. I think Kirkes will be sorted this week as well, and then that's left back sorted. Samuel said, do you have a beard? I don't have a beard, Samuel. I'm clean shaven. Mo doesn't wear red. Mo doesn't wear red either. I wonder why there is Mo. Well, I'm matching you today, Mo. So there you go. So, solidarity with Everton and all that. Mo says good analogy. To be fair, I appreciate that. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to explain, and that's kind of one kind of simple-ish way I've kind of tried to explain it. It just kind of emphasizes, I think, the importance of kind of physicality and how I feel like it's having a bigger role, and to a certain degree, it's superseding technical ability, and that's the change that I've seen, and that's also the change that kind of Mo has seen. FF says, do you think Ruben Amorim will do good next season? I think he'll do better. Because did they finish like 15th, 16th this season? I think they'll do better than that. It depends who they get in as well. They signed Cunha. I think Cunha is a good striker. I think they really need to sign a midfielder because Casemiro is not mobile enough anymore. I don't think Manu is the most mobile in general. So I think if they get some decent players, I think of course they'll do better than 15th. I think they'll probably at a stretch they could challenge for a European place, but to be honest, even if they finish like top half, I think that's a decent improvement. Durwood says, I think Mr. Tyler Alexander-Arnold has a big part in the Robbo discussion. Do you reckon? Anytime I see that guy's face now, I just get annoyed. Was it a few weeks ago we were discussing slappable faces, and I can't remember who the last slappable face was. I feel like we were discussing kind of, here's Neto. Neto scored. Nice goal by Neto. But yeah, this Tyler guy, he's what do we say? He doesn't come across as the nicest fella, should we say? And you're right that he's also Robertson's agent. So I wouldn't really mind if we got rid of Robertson so that we can kind of purge ourselves of all clients of that particular agent. Sonny's here. There you go. So Johnny was asking about Sonny again today. So Johnny was asking about Sonny yesterday, and I said, I'm sure Sonny will be around later. And Johnny was asking again about Sonny today, and I'm like, here he is. I don't know if Johnny is still here though. Yeah, Johnny is still here. But yeah, here's Sonny. If you're still there, Johnny. What do you think about the Huijsen move to Madrid? Is it too soon for him? It does seem a bit soon. I feel like kind of Bournemouth to kind of Madrid. It's kind of like a really big step. I mean, it would have to me it would have made a bit more sense to go to another club first, but let's see how he does. And let's see how mentally strong he is as well, because I think you need like a certain level of mental strength to play for that club as well as being good on the pitch. So let's see how it turns out. Harry says, I've got sweat running down my face recording this video. Oh, apologies. We made you put your VR headset on, and those things can get pretty hot. Hopefully it's not too bad. The good thing is now we are approaching sunset, so it is going to start to get a bit cooler. After the stream yesterday is when I went for I go for a walk outside every day. Yesterday I did it after the stream at like 10:30 because it's just too hot during the day, man. Sonny is being blunt in saying Ruben will do better because if they don't, what else? Yeah. So like I think you're essentially saying they can't do much worse, because if they did worse they would get relegated. Yeah. But I think they will do better. Sonny says, did you see Trent's speech? I did. Do you mean the one in Spanish where he was saying hola español mi amigos, that one? I think it became kind of glaringly obvious to everyone that he's been learning Spanish for a while. And if he's been learning Spanish for a while, then he must have been planning this move for a while, if you know what I mean. So all the kind of performance he did about, I don't know if I'm going to sign a contract, it's my agent is like complete nonsense, wasn't he? He was just lying out his face. It's trashy behavior. FF, is that Final Fantasy as in the game? I wonder. Ruben Amorim just needs time. You can't rush into it. You have to give him the players he needs. True. Like, he came in mid-season. Well, not mid-season, but he came in after the start of the season. He came into a bit of a mess, kind of, admittedly. So, unfortunately, I think Man United are doing the right thing by kind of sticking by him. They need to give him at least a pre-season, at least give him a few transfer windows, and then see what happens. That was it. Foden, yeah. It was Foden. Because I remember we were talking a few weeks ago about somebody who had like a slappable face, and I was like, who was it? Who was it again? And it was like, yeah. It was Foden. Was that the day that Guardiola was swirling his chewing gum around a bit too visually? And we were like, can the camera stop zooming in on his face? And he does that. Harry's finished recording it. Very nice. So for context, this is a VR football game, which Harry mentioned yesterday, where you play, where your hands are your feet on the game. So he was going to kind of show that. Sonny says MF really speaks Spanish, and he said he was learning Spanish for months just for this move. So yeah, he was always gonna leave. I thought only after the Real Madrid pressure he left. Yeah, exactly. That shows that he's been planning this for a while at the very least. Kind of how fluent he was, and kind of how easy the kind of sentences flowed, and how he wasn't even like umming and ahhing and hesitating. It was like a poem to a certain degree. So yeah, he's been planning this for a while. So I'm kind of glad he got booed. FF said, do you think he will succeed at United? Let's see how the transfer window goes, I guess. If you asked me when you first got him, like last year, I would say, yeah, 100%. I think he's a really good manager. I think he's good with young players. I think he's good with the media. I think he's got his own way of playing, which at the very least you can say, okay, at least we have a style of play now. But then the season didn't go too well. But I would say let's see how the transfer window goes. Let's see who you bring in. I definitely think, if you're a Man United fan, I think you definitely need a midfielder, a goalkeeper as well. That Onana just ain't it, man. Fish with a bit of Latin there that I might have to look up in a bit. His spit so gross. Oh yeah, that was it with Guardiola when he was kind of swirling it around his tongue and he was doing like basketball maneuvers. It's like, why? Why must you subject us to that? Okay, I'm gonna Google this fish. I feel like this is Latin that I should know. Is that what's on the Everton? Is that what's on the Everton logo? Oh yeah, it is. Nil satis nisi optimum. Nothing but the best is good enough. I might start using that phrase in daily life. In daily life. Sharon says, "Don't eat the mic, dude. It tastes really good though. But it tastes really, really good. I can't make any promises. I've not had lunch, so if this mic disappears, you'll know why." Sunny says, not succeed, but more like survive, because I don't see them winning the Premier League, but they can snatch a few cup titles. I think they'd take a few cups. I'd say the main thing though is they need to improve their league form and kind of get up the table and become a bit more consistent. I think here's probably the question for kind of Man United fans. Would you rather have a cup and finish like 16th again? Or would you rather finish like 9th, 10th and not have a cup? I think that's the magic question to a certain degree. But yeah, like I don't know if like people do this for clicks and things, but even like looking online, a lot of kind of Man United fans are predicting themselves to win the league next year, and it's like, no, it's just not gonna happen. You're just setting yourself up for disappointment. But I think if they can get the right signings and kind of build from there, then who knows? But they're not going to win the league next year. Especially when there was like literally 14 teams who were better than you. Throw in for Chelsea here. I'm surprised Chelsea are only 1-0 up. Well, I would have expected a bit more, to be fair. But LAFC, not LA Galaxy, LAFC are giving them a good game. Sonny says, nah, it's more like 5th to 8th, and at least a cup, be it Carabao or FA, because another trophyless will be injurious to Ruben's health. Do you reckon? He's gonna have health problems if he doesn't win anything. I hear ya. I mean, it depends. I think it's highly dependent on kind of what happens in the summer. They've bought Cunha, which I think is good. Cunha's a good striker. He's a dangerous striker. They're linked with Ekatike. I don't know why. And again, for me, I think they need a midfielder. And I think they need a goalkeeper, and I think they need a defender. I mean, the other side of the coin is I think they've got like a decently sized squad as well. So how do they get rid of the players that they don't want? Like Jadon Sancho, for example. I think Chelsea paid Man United to take him back. I mean, nothing makes you feel wanted like your employer physically paying your old employer to take you back. So it's kind of funny. Sonny will only start watching after the group stage when every small team is out. Because also, when is the Real Madrid fixture? That's on Wednesday, I believe. We will be hate watching Trent, but it's tough to do a hate watch when he's playing. Who are they playing? Let's have a look. Al Hilal. Could be worse, to be fair. Yeah, so I presume kind of Trent will be playing in that game against Al Hilal. Who's even in like Al Hilal's team? You know what I mean? So they got Koulibaly, Ruben Neves, Mitrovic, Leonardo, Cancelo. This is a decent little team. Milinkovic Savage, as Fish says. Got Malcolm. I don't know who this guy is. Caio Cesar. Some winger. But yeah, to sum up, it will be on Wednesday. I mean, officially it's a hate watch, but it's gonna be kind of quite hard to kind of hate watch him, because you'd expect that they win that game quite easily. Well, that's the first half over and done with. Can't lie, expected a few more goals. Expected a few more. But it is what it is. Galaxy Multiverse says, "What's up, bro? I'm back. Good to have you back. Good to have you back." Nothing much, to be honest. First half is finished. 1-0. 1-0 Chelsea. Neto goal. So yeah, we've just been watching that and talking about random stuff, really. How goes the BMW M5 compilation? Or I presume that will probably take a bit of time, to be fair, to kind of make that. But when you have made it, let me know. I keep hearing like lots of Isaac stuff. There's probably nothing in it, to be honest. But it won't stop me from getting quite excited. It says, Newcastle don't want to sell Isaac for cheap. It'll have to be a ballpark figure of 130 to 140 million. Are Liverpool realistically going to pay that in the summer where they're signing Florian Wirtz? Hard to see, but I wouldn't completely rule it out. So in some ways, he kind of doesn't answer the question. Because he says, are Liverpool going to pay it? Hard to see means no, but I wouldn't completely rule it out means yes. So it's like, hey, let's cover both possibilities. Galaxy Multiverse says okay. Sunny says, in this new format, can we expect any non-European team to win? Because at least before we had winners like Palmeiras, for example, because there is no way a team can pull a Croatia and win. Yeah, I'd say it's kind of stacked against the non-European teams, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if kind of PSG kind of walked this again. Yeah, Flamengo. Yeah, it would not surprise me. AK 200 912 says hi. How you doing, AK? Hope you've had a nice day so far. Speaking of Brazil, Neymar says hi. How you doing, Neymar? Hope you're good. Ooh, Chiesa's leaving apparently. In what will not be a surprise to anyone. Neymar's doing great. Good to hear. Good to hear you're doing well. Riley said, who's gonna win the Premier League next season, son? I think Liverpool will do it, but of course I'm slightly biased. But I think it will be a lot closer. I think it will be a lot closer next season. I think City will be in the mix. I think Chelsea will be in the mix. Arsenal are always in the mix, and I think Newcastle, especially if Newcastle, um, I think especially if Newcastle keep Isak, they'll be in the mix. AK says, any transfer news for Borussia Dortmund? I can have a look for you in a minute. Ben says, we just signed Ben Dover, replacing the assistant coach from Ajax. Yeah, you did. They did want Mr. Jas here, but they went for Ben Dover instead. Do you play FC Mobile? I haven't played that, no. Is it good? Is it worth playing? Let me know. So AK said, any news for Borussia Dortmund? Let's have a look. Oh, I mean, there's Joe Bellingham. If you're a Dortmund fan, how do you feel about that? Are you excited about that? Number 77 is an interesting shirt number. I can't lie, and it looks like I'm wearing a Dortmund shirt. I am not, but that looks like the main thing. AK. Nothing particularly significant other than that, but I'll let you know if anything comes up. Neymar says, yeah, very nice. So there's a recommendation there. FC mobile game, pretty good. Sunny says, my biggest problem is that the duration for every 4 years, because a team who won the Champions League in the first year will be very different form for the fourth year. That's a good point. It's a significant amount of time in which things can kind of significantly change. So the thing is, like, in many ways, because this is like a money making scheme. Let's be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if they're starting with 4 years now, but then in the future they want to make it even more frequent. Wouldn't surprise me. Neymar Jr. says, how is Neymar doing? No specific news. Nothing specific has come out about Neymar, if I'm honest, as far as I can see. Riley says, have you got Football Manager? And if so, what team do you manage? To be honest, I haven't played Football Manager. I haven't played Football Manager in a few years. I think 2022. I think Football Manager 2022 was the last one that I played. I've got 2023, but I just didn't play it. Like, I built that gaming PC. I don't know if you can see it. It's that little white box with the horizontal, with the diagonal lines. I did build a gaming PC recently, but playing more like kind of horror games at the moment. But I do need to play Football Manager. I do need to get back into Football Manager, just for the fun of it. But yeah, what teams do you manage on the game? Sunny says, what's the point of Dortmund doing any signings? Because in the end, it's going to be Bayern Munich every time. Yeah, that is true. They need to perhaps stand up to Bayern Munich a bit more. Dot is not an Arsenal fan, but if Isak did leave Castle, he'd go to Arsenal because there's a Massey community. That would be good for him. At least he'll feel at home. So that would be nice, I guess. Has Neymar Jr. at Santos and news about Brazil World Cup? I can have a look. Do you play DLS? I don't know what DLS is. Dungeons and something. Neymar was diagnosed with COVID-19. My man is always injured and now sick too in his career. Never reached the highs he should have done. Yeah, I think a lot of pressure was perhaps kind of put on him because he was the next Brazilian, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I think he probably had his best time at Barcelona, to be fair. Mr. MMA Madman said Faisal Manji from hashtag. I don't know what that is, but I appreciate the MMA enthusiasm. I like watching that. It's always good. Have you got a favorite MMA fighter? Have you got a favorite MMA fighter per weight class? Let me know. Riley manages Rangers. Hopeless though. 4 years, 1 league, 2 Scottish Cups, and a League Cup. That's not bad, to be fair. That's decent, to be fair. That's not bad. You won a league title. I think that's pretty good. 2 Scottish Cups. That's nothing to joke about. And a League Cup, that's all right. You're a good manager. You're a good manager there, especially with that. Especially with that league title. Could do a lot worse. What kind of transfer budget do Rangers have in the game? It's probably quite small. How do you do it then? Do you look to kind of loan players from other clubs and bring them in that way, or do you look for kind of free transfers, or do you look at wonder kids and kind of buy them that way? And the Champions League quarter-final finish. That's amazing. You're not hopeless. I think you did a good job for Rangers. Like, come on, 4 years, 1 league title, and a Champions League quarter-final. I think that's really. And again, I'm not just saying this to be nice. I think that's genuinely really good. It's like right. So that's what DLS is. Mr. MMA Madman's favorite fighters are Royval Umar, Arnold Allen, mate. Ilya Tuporia. He's going up to lightweight, isn't he? He's going to fight Charles Oliveira, I believe. Benil Dariush is another lightweight. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Boralo Pereira. Very nice. And Tom Aspinall. Okay. Good to hear. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think the Aspinall-Jones fight is going to happen. I would have loved to have seen it, but it is what it is. He's also ruined his career through constant partying, and for some reason, every time his sister's birthday is near, he gets injured to the point where it's a myth that he purposely gets injured just for her. Well, if it's happening so many times, it might be more than a myth, should we say. It was a small transfer budget at the start. I'm sure it was just 10 million. So just went for loans for the first year. I see. Couple of loans for the first year, get the position up, and then grow from there. Now, how long do you play for? If you know what I mean. Like, I was going to say back when I used to play, but this was like 2 years ago. But like, I typically do like 5 years. And then like, after like 5-6 years, like all the players have changed, all the players have gone. And then I used to start a new save. I saw kind of somebody online, they did a save for like 90 years or something, and it's like, I don't know how you play for that long. But it is quite cool to kind of come across, is it the regens or whatever they called, the regens, where kind of new players pop up. That's always nice to see. Yeah, that's the thing. Like after a few seasons, it's like the teams are not recognizable anymore, and then to a certain degree, it becomes less fun. And at that point, I'd start a new game and be like, okay, let's start afresh. Chelsea have made 28 million for just turning up for this tournament. That should pay for Delap. I think Delap was roughly that amount. So hopefully that should be that sort. He's on the bench, isn't he? I'm intrigued to see him. I'd go as far as to say he's the one that I'm most excited to see today. Just Delap with kind of having better players around him. They've given him the number 9 shirt as well, so that would show a level of belief that they have. But hopefully he comes on in the second half. Do you watch any different sports to boxing? Says Riley. Yeah, I watch like MMA, which is quite fun. Like World's Strongest Man, like Strongman. I like watching that. That's good. I've been to see that live as well. It's pretty fun. I've been to see that live a few times. Eventually, it gets boring because eventually you feel like I'm just watching other people lift weights. but the first few times, it's fun to see. But yeah, MMA, strongman, boxing, and football. Those are the main ones for me, really. How about you? Ooh, LAFC are coming out for the second half. I can't see any changes for Chelsea, but we will know soon enough. Sonny says, but is Club World Cup now valuable because it was considered a friendly? Now, what do you think of its status? To be honest, I still think of it as like a friendly tournament. If I'm honest, it is like a money making scheme. So it makes money for the clubs. It's one of those things where like the heads of the clubs and the owners probably send the players there so that the owners can get money. So it will make. Oh, Enzo's coming on, by the way. Enzo Fernandez. It's a money making thing, but I don't feel like it has prestige. Like it's definitely not the Champions League or the Europa League. I think it's safe to kind of consider it like a friendly tournament, I'd say. And to be honest, I never think it will have that level of prestige that the other competitions have. But it's fun. Keeps us occupied. Son says Al Macho Belly. Oh man. Is that Giroud? What the hell? That is Giroud. Giroud plays for LA. Crazy. Musa was saying earlier, Champions League clears it, but I think it's better than. You think it's better than European Conference? Do you reckon? I mean, I think the teams in there are of a higher standard, but I think where it falls short is it's kind of jammed at the end of the season when the players have just done a full season and they're probably tired, they're probably a bit cranky. So from that perspective, rather than being like a tournament that you play every week throughout the course of the season, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining that badly. Like if this was something that was played throughout the season, where teams can, rest players, can plan for it, then it would, to me, it would feel a bit more prestigious. But I think you're right that the teams in this competition, so your Chelseas, your Real Madrids, your PSGs, those teams are of a higher standard. It just feels like it's something that's like tagged on to the end kind of thing. A bit like the kind of Community Shield, but in some ways the opposite end. Sunny says, but you know what makes it more relevant than the Nations League is the fact that Pupanaldo is not there. I'm sure Pupanaldo appreciates the love that you give him, as always, Sunny. Sunny also says, Europa League has a long history. Even the so-called giants in the Champions League, like Real Madrid and Europe and Liverpool. Liverpool and Real Madrid has won it. Yeah, I think it's more the fact that it's kind of bolted on to the end. When, let's be honest, these players don't want to be here. It kind of takes it away. Yeah, Musa says, agree that it loses a bit of intensity being at the end of the season, more rotation of players, yeah. I mean, over time, I think this might become a big thing. You never know. And even though it's like every 4 years now, like it wouldn't surprise me if the long-term plan is to do this more often. Because let's be honest, football is primarily a money-making thing these days. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's where they're going. And then if it becomes an annual thing, and then, I don't know, maybe that will help. Musa says, yes, over time it will, yeah, considering the prize money. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. I think owners and kind of, you know, the owners and the directors that are in charge of this, they will kind of collude to a certain degree to make this happen more often so that they get more money. The players will hate it. But quite often, like, you feel like the players, they're already playing too many games. That's probably why we have so many subs these days, because the demand on their time is far in excess of what it used to be. But yeah, let's see. They've kicked off. I know I haven't set the time. I'm just waiting to see what happens. I thought we might be in for a goal there from the kickoff. Hugo Lloris then. Lloris is taking a goal kick. Since he is a goalkeeper, I mean, that's kind of what I'd expect. Ooh, nice pass by Enzo. Oh, what's Cole Palmer doing? Wake up, man. Sonny says, nah, if it become an annual thing, then we'll get a new knee problems every year, so let's just keep it at 4 years. You're right. I mean, if this kind of thing becomes even more frequent, you'll get even more injuries. I think my only concern is the people who make decisions on that are not the players, so they don't care. It's kind of the owners and the heads of FIFA and all those kind of guys. And I think from their perspective, they only really care about the money. They don't really care about the players. But you're right. You will get more injuries. Because the more tired these players are, the kind of weaker the muscle is. And so any sort of collision will increase the likelihood of injury. But let's see what happens. And when will the player will meet their family? BS, they will die. Very true, very true. NCFC Joe says X-Pac should have been pushed to be one of the best wrestlers. I hear ya. The thing is with X-Pac, like, X-Pac was like one of the first kind of, I don't want to say cruiserweight, but he was one of the first kind of smaller guys who I feel like had star power about him. Because I feel like when X-Pac was around, it was all about the kind of big guys on the steroids and that kind of thing. But X-Pac had the charisma and he had the fans behind him, so he should. Yeah, he was small. Yeah, he was small. But I think that's what made him all the more amazing. That he's smaller, but he still had so many fans. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen X-Pac get some sort of push. I think the problem is with X-Pac, I think he had some problems with drugs and things, and I think quite often he'd get suspended. But yeah, it is what it is. He was good. He was good in WWF. He was good in WCW as well. He was called Six. Was he called like Six or something? Oh, I thought Chelsea were going to score there. X-Pac and Road Dogg, but not Billy Gunn. We don't like Billy Gunn here. Yeah, Road Dogg was good. He's good on the microphone. Road Dogg, Jesse James. Is he the one that said, "Oh, you didn't know"? That's Road Dogg, isn't it? That's Road Dogg. I remember Road Dogg. It was Road Dogg. There was X-Pac. There was Triple H. There was Shawn Michaels. There was Billy Gunn. There was China. China was good as well. Man, LAFC are still pressing Chelsea pretty high, to be fair. He wasn't a good wrestler, but he was the best mic talker ever. Ooh! I thought LAFC almost scored there. But he was the best mic talker ever. Best ever? He was good. Road Dogg, Jesse James. I liked his little punches as well. You know, his little combo that he used to do. That was pretty good. Sonny says, nah, it was Rey Mysterio. Yeah, that's a good point, to be fair. Just look at him during the WCW days, and especially the time when he didn't have the mask, which I remember. I used to watch it when that whole thing happened, when he lost his mask. He was in a match against Kevin Nash, and it was like, I don't know, career versus mask or something, and then Kevin Nash won the match, and then Rey Mysterio took his mask off. And then Kevin Nash just started laughing and said, put it back on. I thought that was good. That was kind of harsh. He was killing it. Probably one of the few good things in WCW end with Scott Steiner. Yeah, we were talking about Scott Steiner yesterday. Scott Steiner was cool. I like Scott Steiner. Joe says... I think Chris Jericho was so underrated. I think, you're right. I think he was definitely underrated in WCW. I think in WCW, again, he was seen as like not a main eventer because he was... I presume it's because he was smaller. But like as soon as he debuted in WWF, like instantly he debuted... instantly he kind of debuted with The Rock, wasn't it? So, yeah, Jericho was good. Very good in-ring ability, very good on the microphone as well. Sonny says, Scott Steiner roid rage gimmick is classic. Just goes around and beats everyone backstage, yeah. And it was always with a weapon of some sort. Like he'd have like a stick in his hand. It's like bashing up with a stick. It was classic. Sofian says, Bye, where are you from? I'm from England, UK. How about you? When do you think Undertaker's prime was? That's a good question. That's a good question, man. For what I personally enjoyed the most, I would say like Ministry Undertaker. I would say like Ministry Undertaker. Because he was still kind of young enough to be athletic. He was still, diving over the top rope. He was still young enough to do that. Physically, he looked probably the best he's ever looked. And from like a storyline perspective, like he came across as like really demonic and kind of quite scary, which I think was quite good. So yeah, for me, I'd say the Ministry times. But how about you? Lewandowski says, bye. What footballer is the best in the world right now? Do I have to say Lewandowski because you are Lewandowski and you said he's the king? So perhaps I have to go with Lewandowski. It's tough to say. There's so many good players. I think Yamal's had an amazing season. I think Dembele's had a very good season. I think Salah's had a very good season. It's too many to choose from. I'd say like 94. What's that? What's 90? Oh, like 92, as in from the year 1990 to 1994. Is that when he had the purple gloves? Is that the purple gloves back then? That so like that version, would you say? Is that the one that you think's the best one? That's the earliest one that I remember, to be fair. It's the earliest one that I remember. Sunny says Real Madrid has a 75% chance of winning the Champions League. But when you add Trent into the mix, now you only okay, no, I know what he's doing. But now you only have a 3% chance of winning. But Trent's a genetic freak, so it's only 25%. But when you put me into the mix, they have a third chance of winning. So it's only 8.33%. They've got 66. They've got a 66 and 2/3% chance of winning. But if they don't, their chances of winning drastic go down. At the start of, oh right, so that's as in when he started with that gimmick. I think I'm a bit off on the years, but I think I know roughly when you mean. In Sonny's opinion, it was 98-02. Yeah, I think probably similar sort of opinion with me. AFC Dave says the Madrid have defo got into Canate's head. He's probably taking Spanish lessons already. Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. Would not surprise me in the slightest. Like from a Liverpool perspective, I think they just need to, do their due diligence. LA just had a 1-on-1, but it was a shit shot in the end. And sort out the Konate situation this summer, I think. Either get him to sign a new contract, but if he's refusing to do that, sell him to PSG. Because I think you're right with respect to if it's not sorted out this season, I think he'll go on a free probably. So I think the club need to try and resolve that this season if they can. They're looking at Lewis Skelly as well. Yeah, I saw that news came out recently. They're looking at Lewis Skelly as well. His contract expires next season. Yeah, I think that's the way that they operate now. Is kind of get players on a free, tap up players on a free, convince them not to sign with their club, and then get them for free, and then give them a signing on fee. But then the signing on fee is less than kind of what they'd pay for the player typically. So yeah, unless something is done about it, and they're just going to continue doing it, I guess. And his WrestleMania prime would be 21 to 29. Every match was a classic. Randy, then Batista, Edge, Shawn, Triple H, and CM Punk. I'll be honest, I haven't seen any of those. I'm aware of like some of the Undertaker matches from like the 90s. I mostly kind of watch stuff from the 90s, but if these are good, maybe I need to check them out. To be fair, it's a good tactic. Perez is a genius. Yeah, it is a good tactic. Instead of paying £100 million for a player, tap them up a little bit, get them for free, and then give the player, I don't know, a 20 or 30 million signing on fee. That way you save 70 million, the player's happy because they get a signing on bonus. It makes sense, to be fair. If anything, I'm surprised they didn't do this earlier. And they know that every player wants to join them. Yeah, they are a attractive club, so they're flexing their muscles in a slightly different way now. But hey, it's within the rules, so I guess we can't be too annoyed. it just means that the kind of management at the respective clubs needs to be a bit more tuned up and a bit more tuned on regarding kind of when contracts expire and so forth. Perhaps perhaps look to sell players when they've got 2 years left rather than panicking when they've got 1 year left. It probably means that everyone has to adapt to a certain degree. Sonny says, of course, Papa is good. He's the only reason Pupinaldo has 5 Champions League. Just look at how badly they cheated in the Champions League versus Bayern. I hear ya. Hader saying how we all feel. Wonderfully encapsulated in 5 words with I hope this competition dies. Yeah, I'm with ya. We've been talking about so many random things today. We've been talking about MMA. We've been talking about club football, Liverpool, Arsenal. We've been talking about wrestling. We've been talking about every topic apart from the game because it feels kind of pointless. Well, we were talking about the game at the start when we were saying look at how many seats are empty, because it's kind of crazy. Like certain like rows of the stadium are just like completely empty. So yeah, it does feel like a pointless competition. It does feel like a money-making scheme. I think somebody was saying earlier that it's Cole Palmer when he hits it wide. Someone was saying earlier that it was Chelsea till I die. He said Chelsea get 25 million just for participating, and we were like, yeah, it makes sense. They're here just to make money. The players hate it. The fans hate it. What more can we do? AFC Dave said, might as well watch women's football than this. Yeah, might as well watch paint dry and watch my... I'm growing some strawberries in the garden. I might as well watch those grow instead, to be honest. Hader says, big up, bro. Can't wait for next season. 100%. I'm super excited for next season. And also pre-season. Pre-season starts on 13th of June. And like no previous season have I ever known like when pre-season starts. But I'm so excited for pre-season. So excited to see the new players. So excited to see Frimpong. So excited to see Florian Wirtz. So excited to see Kirkes. So excited to see whatever striker we get. Can't wait. Can't wait for pre-season. Sonny says maybe it's like that because it's in the US. Because if it was in Europe, yeah, if it was in Europe, you would have bigger crowds. I think but we know that the reason for this is perhaps they're trying to kind of raise awareness in other countries and kind of gain additional kind of revenue streams that way. But I can't lie, I'm a bit jealous because like if I was there, apparently the tickets are only $4, like £2.50. So if I was there, I'd pay £2.50. I'd go see this. But the situation it's in is not ideal. Hader says yeah, pre-season is important, to be fair. Yeah, it is. I'm just like from my perspective, I'm just excited to see our players together for like the first time kind of thing. Because it will be the first time we see kind of Frimpong and we see Salah ahead of him and we see Gravenberch to the left and we see Wirtz ahead of him. Like I'm just excited to see how this team is going to work. And whether the tactics will change with the new players. I think that will be something we will have to keep an eye on. AFC Dave says, if this was in Spain, Italy, England, this competition would be huge. Yeah, you could probably charge more money. Like, so it's £2.50 a ticket here. Oh, Delap's coming on. Let's see what he does. It's £2.50 a ticket. I think in other countries you could easily charge 10 times that. I think you could easily charge like £25. You'd probably fill the stadium. But I think in general, probably just trying to raise. They're probably more looking at the long term in terms of raising awareness across the pond kind of thing. I saw yesterday in Atletico they were celebrating PSG's goals. That shows. I think that shows how seriously they were taking the competition. You wouldn't see that in any of the competition. You wouldn't even see that in pre-season, to be fair, celebrating the other team's goals. So that is something that's unique to this competition. Yeah, but only for the Miami University, not for everyone. We would still be in the right, okay. Oh right, so was the $4, was that like subsidized for university students only? And then everyone else pays normal price. Fair enough, that makes sense. Here's LA again. To be fair, I'm surprised that Chelsea are only 1-0 up. AFC Dave says thoughts on Lee Gunner. To be honest, I don't watch too much of him because he's Arsenal fan, but like I respect the fact that he's honest, if you know what I mean. Like he's not playing a character. He says what he thinks, even if people don't like it. I think that shows a level of character that kind of many other people don't have to a certain degree. But yeah, I respect the honesty, I guess. Chelsea is dead, says Hader. Chelsea is dead, and we are also dead whilst watching this. So that's something we have in common with Chelsea. I'm surprised like they're not at least like 2-3-0 up, especially after yesterday. Yesterday you had like a 10-0, which of course was the one that I didn't watch. We had a 4-0. Yeah, true. They are playing like it's a friendly. I would have at least expected maybe one more goal, but I guess that's what happens when they stick a tournament at the end of the season. I think it's quite obvious the players don't want to be there, if I'm honest. But it is what it is. 35. Probably about half an hour left. That's the thing, AFC Dave. I was saying something similar yesterday, that even though selfishly I'd like to be watching Liverpool instead, if I'm thinking with my head, I'm glad Liverpool are not there, because there's injuries, as you've mentioned. There's also less time for rest, and I think the mental side of recovery is also important. You know, go have a holiday, go have different surroundings. I think I saw on Instagram Salah's like celebrating his birthday, and it's like, yeah, let the guys rest so that they can come back. Feeling a lot better. Haydes says the trophy looks sick though, does it? I don't know what the trophy looks like, but let's have a look. Let's have a look. Club World Cup trophy. Is it that thing? That is a strange looking trophy. Is that it? That's not what I expected to be. That is different. That is it's got like loads of layers to it. Dang, Hader wasn't lying. That is unique. So it like at first I just saw that and I thought that looks like, you know, at the gym, you know, we used to have those plates, like the ones that used to be filled with sand. You know, the cheap ones. I thought it was one of those. Like the cheap gym plates. But then look at that. And it's even got like engraving on it. You're right. Hader's 100% accurate there. Cole says, I'm happy my team is in the Club World Cup. It's big money. Is your surname Palmer by any chance? Because I can see you on the pitch right now. But I understand. I understand the viewpoint. You do get money from it. So there are two sides. There are two sides to every discussion. Hader says, yeah, it will definitely help the players recover. Yeah, from my perspective, even though there is money and even though there is financial reward, I'd rather we use that time to rest and recover. AFC Dave is scared what Man City will do next season. They're a problem. Yeah, they're going to invest heavily. They've got Reinders in, they've got Shirky in. Let's see who else they get. Obviously, they've already got Haaland and so forth. So yeah, let's see what they do. It's unique. It is unique. I think that's putting it lightly. With how kind of all the layers kind of twist around. I mean, don't drop that, because if you drop that, that's gonna break. But if you don't drop it, then that's pretty nice trophy. Hader says, yeah, no, 100%. I'll be honest, I'm not even watching the match. I'm just scrolling through pictures of the trophy. I'm just scrolling through pictures of the trophy. Fair enough. Sunny disagrees, and he says, respectfully, the trophy is shit. It's just a golden plate. Even the Bundesliga and Eredivisie play is more prestigious. Those plates certainly are more prestigious. I mean, even though it does look like a plate that you have your chaval on, they are more prestigious from a history perspective. But that trophy does look nice. I gotta concede. Sonny says it's shy. It would look better when Barcelona wins it, because I believe the red and blue will look great with gold. It would look great with gold, but just red would look even better. Just saying. Okay, now Real Madrid fanboys will come after me saying, "Oh look, gold plate. Who gives a crap about this plate?" True. I hear ya. My LFC history says, hello from Liverpool. Hello, how you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you've had a nice day, and yeah, hope you're doing good. Arid Temo said, which is your favorite team? I was gonna say Liverpool, but since you said Forza Inter, as soon as I was gonna say it, then I might have to say Inter Milan. But we do have another. We also have like Christian sometimes in the chat. Christian is also a Inter Milan fan. AFC Dave says, to be fair, I would want to win it because of the badge you get. Is that the gold? Is that the little gold badge? I don't know what I'm saying. Like that gold. Like gold. Is it the little gold badge you get? That looks pretty nice, to be fair. Can't lie, that looks pretty nice. You told me how to say this last time and I was saying it wrong. Was it just Sham? Or was it just Isham? Because I remember I kept pronouncing it wrong. I think you said just say Sham, I think. Man United to win the Premier League next season. Do you reckon? I mean, I think that's a lofty expectation, to be fair. I mean, Cunha's a good start. Can't lie. Cunha's a good start. Let's see who else you get in the window. Dave said yes, it's the gold badge. Yeah, that's a nice addition to any kit. I can't lie. Itisham. Yamal fan says what? We were talking about the gold badge that you get for winning the Club World Cup. You know, the gold badge on the kit. We were saying that looks pretty nice. Yeah. I think LA might get a goal here, you know. Again, appreciate it's a friendly. I appreciate Chelsea don't actually play. Don't actually care, sorry, but even then. Do you play good ball? I mean football. Not so much these days. I did back in the day. Kai says 2-0, 2-0 Chelsea. So they might be scoring from this then. It's still 1-0 for me. But the positive is I might have a goal coming up. Apparently, my bad. That's alright. Is Delap gonna get it? Nah, it's still 1-0. It's still 1-0. What team you support? Support Liverpool. What are you watching? Chelsea versus Los Angeles, because that's how desperate we are for football at the moment. Sunny says, Jamal, why did you play rubbish versus Portugal? You let the world go to ruins by letting Pupanaldo get his hands on another trophy. That's a fair question. Seb says, hi, remember me, bro? Yes, 100% remember you from yesterday. A wrestling fan, but also likes US sports. We were talking about wrestling earlier. We were... earlier today as well, again, we were talking about wrestling. I think the question came up, what's your favorite Undertaker? And I said the Ministry Undertaker because he was so evil. Kai said, my mates just shouted it. Oh, my bad. I wonder why he shouted. Yeah. Maybe he's just messing with all of us. Dawood said it's 1-0. No one scored. Yes, it's still 1-0. Still 1-0 for me. And it's actually LA with the ball. So yeah, I think Kai's mate was just messing with him. Seb says, "Man, I was so excited for this cup, and it's all gone to shambles." It has. I think it might become a bit more exciting in the latter stages when it's a Real Madrid versus Bayern, or we might get PSG versus Real Madrid, which means we might get Kvaratskhelia versus Trent. And if we get Kvaratskhelia versus Trent, we will be there for that. So it could get exciting then. It could get excited. What this needs prime Scott Steiner on the pitch. Just I feel like he'd rile the crowd up a bit. Yamal says lol. A is asking why is he writing the question as if Yamal is in this chat. You never know. Yamal fan could be the actual Yamal. You never know. He hasn't denied it, so you never know. A says only 1-0 is not good for Chelsea. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. I would have expected them to do a bit better. But equally, they don't seem like they're bothering. And again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, if you know what I mean. Seb says, not trying to be biased, but in this stage, WWE 2025 is better than this cup. It certainly seems like that. Would AEW 2025 be better than this, or is that going a bit too far? Too many dead teams in this competition. 100% agree with you, Hader. I think hopefully the later stages become a bit more exciting. But I was researching when this finishes. As soon as this finishes, Liverpool's pre-season starts. So it sets it up quite nicely. I see lots of 2-0s coming in. That was poor, wasn't it? Is that an assist? Is that an assist for Delap? Defender should have done better. A says, who's the Real Madrid manager right now? Xabi Alonso. They got him from Leverkusen. Noni Madueke stinker unhooked had my Chelsea friend telling him he's better than Saka. As a neutral, he's not better than Saka. I can say that. Prime Scott Steiner, yeah, he'd get on the pitch, road rage, and yeah, he might make things a bit more exciting. A says, I wonder if the players are tired from the season and just want to go on holiday. I mean, that's what I think. That's what I think. Imagine playing a full season in the Premier League. Imagine playing the FA Cup. Imagine playing the Carabao Cup. Imagine playing the Conference League. Imagine playing the Conference League final. Imagine winning the Conference League and then being told you gotta go back to work the next week. It must be tiring. Seb says even AEW is better. Wow. Yamal thinks that Klopp is the Real Madrid manager. Well, not yet. It's Xabi Alonso at the moment, but you never know in the future. It's bloody 2-0, says Sebs. And now Doe would have said, now it's 2-0, yeah. So it's 2-0 now. So maybe Kai's friend was an oracle and a mind reader. Might have to ask Kai's friend what the lottery numbers are. The footballers have worked all year without the 28 days annual leave. Yeah, exactly. They might complain that they're not getting... Ooh, LA are through. I thought they were going to score. Imagine if footballers had like annual leave and they could just book it whenever. You know what I mean? Like imagine like Salah like booked like, I don't know, annual leave for his brother's wedding and it's the same week as the Champions League final. It would be crazy, wouldn't it? If footballers could just book annual leave. It'd be the funniest thing. Chelsea fanboys, be grateful it's 1-0 for you. And not the other way around. Could be worse. A says they must be fuming. Sonny's not a fan of AEW. Ostrich, one set of Buckaroo. Is that Kenny Omega? I know who Kenny Omega is. I watched AEW like when it first came out. Because kind of back in the day, I used to watch WCW. So I watched AEW when it first came out, hoping it would be like WCW, but it wasn't. So then I stopped watching it. Don't forget international friendlies in between as well, said A. Yeah, these lot are busy. It is busy. Sebs says, all right, not to be biased, but WWE has more fans in attendance than this cup. Yeah, a lot of empty seats, especially like in those seats behind the goal. It's a bit bizarre. Sonny says, we don't talk about Bukayo Saka on this stream. We do talk about Yamal, Cherki and Wirtz, the player who have proven their worth. Fair enough. P5am with a good point saying Liverpool already had a month off. True. Liverpool had a month off and they got paid for it. They were supposed to be working, but they were physically there, but mentally they were thinking about other things. Oh, good. It means double the holiday for Liverpool. Nkunku's coming on. Let's see what he can do. Seb says, but this game started at 3 p.m. on a Monday. And it's LAFC, but the game's in the other side of the US. So that's why. Oh yeah, of course. I forget that. It's literally a work day, isn't it? Most people are probably at work. Okay, that makes sense. I kept thinking, hey, because it's 8 o'clock for me, it must be 8. Of course, it's not 8 o'clock for them. They're 5 hours behind. Yes. Okay, that yeah. I can't believe I didn't realize that. Yeah, of course, it's Monday. It's Monday afternoon. Lots of people are going to be at work and that sort of thing. Well, I guess let's see how the weekend games go. Hopefully there's a better turnout for those. But it's so stupid making LAFC play in Atlanta. What? So is that like different coasts kind of thing? If you know what I mean. Does that mean they have like really far to travel? Should we have a look? All right, so Atlanta, Georgia. Is that where Goldberg is from? I think. I don't know. So this is Atlanta. And this is Los... Oh, shit. All right, yeah. So there's LA. Oh, shit. I don't know if you can see. See, we always do geography lessons here. So, like, there's LA, as Sebs has said. LA is on the west coast. So it's from LA over to Atlanta, which is the east coast. Is that like what? Like a 5-6 hour flight? It's got to be something like that. 5-6 hour flight. Got to be something like that. Maybe more, you know. LA is in the... Yeah, Atlanta's in the east. 5 hour flight. Dang. Don't worry, guys. We will continue to drink out of our paper straws so that footballers can fly 5 hours. It's all good. It's all right. Evening games are around 1 a.m. UK time. Yeah. Far too late for my boots. I'm fast asleep at that time. It's a bit frustrating because like quite often there's games where like Brazil are playing and I'd love to watch them, but it'll be like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. our time. Sunny says, one thing I realize, USA, it's huge. You can spend 6 hours driving from one end of Texas and still be in Texas. And here you will be in a whole different country. Yeah, 100% true. 100% true. You can probably get from like Manchester to London, which is like north to south, maybe like 4 hours in a car. Again, that's a guess, but yeah, US is gigantic. It's huge. Look at that. That's I mean I guess why that's kind of lots of kind of flights and things are used, just to kind of get across. Look at the UK. look at us in comparison. We are tiny, but that's okay. We are an island. It's like having Celtic versus Barcelona in a Club World Cup in UK and having them play in London. Yeah, I hear ya. Crazy travel time. I guess that just adds to the tiredness aspect. Have they done that? And again, this is a conspiracy. But you know how you've got teams coming from the UK, you've got teams coming from France, you've got teams coming from Spain. I guess a flight to the East Coast, like to there, is probably like, I don't know, 10-ish hours. Whereas if they made them fly all the way to the West Coast, it would be significantly more. Maybe that's why they've done it. They've tried to pick somewhere in the middle, I guess. That makes sense. Delwood says the 9 p.m. games here are too late. That is pretty late, to be fair. You'd be finishing at what, like 11 p.m.? And imagine going to the game and finishing at 11 p.m. and then trying to get like the subway, or not even the subway home. Well, yeah, you'd probably get the subway home pretty late, which you probably never want to do unless you have to. Some people might be getting flights back. It's pretty, yeah, it would be pretty hectic, I guess. Sunny says, man, you'll get to Ireland and have a pint with Conor McGregor. What, in like 6 hours? It'd be easy for Ireland. It's easier just to get the flight. 1 hour. Nice quick flight. 1 hour. Bish bash bosh. Sorted. I did go to Dublin last year. I did not see Conor McGregor, but it's a quick flight. I think it was less than an hour. To be fair. Phil says, so it isn't safe there at that time of the night. Is that what you're saying? Not specifically there, just in general. In general, kind of wherever you are. It's safer earlier in the day than it is at 11 o'clock at night. Sunny says, okay, I got to go. Bye, adios, and sayonara. And no one gives a shite about this glorified friendly, just like the Nations League. You are 100% accurate in what you say. But yeah, take care, Sunny. See you next time. All the best. I won't be around tomorrow, but we'll be around on Wednesday for the Trent Hate Along. A says you're going to have 100,000 followers by December 2027. I appreciate the encouraging words, A. Thank you very much. A funny theory. At 3 p.m. hearing the ice cream truck is lovely, but at 3 a.m. you're cooked. That is true. As empty as the seats are, it wouldn't take long to get out of there. No traffic. Okay. Well, there's that's a positive at least. Getting out of the stadium easily. Chipong Adudu says Astaghfirullah. For what? What somebody said that's so bad. SFC Joe is, how'd you go live without 1,000 followers? I don't know. They just sent me a notification one day, said, hey, you can go live, and I was like, alright, if you say so. Actually, no, A has got the real reason. It says he knows the CEO of TikTok. He's mates with him on LinkedIn. Yeah, we're mates on LinkedIn. We're also mates. I was gonna say we're mates on Tinder, but that's gonna sound weird. I was trying to think of a second app. We're mates on Facebook as well. Yeah. I was like, we're mates on LinkedIn. I was like, oh god, it's too late now. Oh, it's too late now. I might as well just say it. Chipung Adudu says, I'm from Indonesia. Very nice. I've never been to Indonesia. What's it like? Would you recommend visiting? Is it nice? Is it a nice country to visit? I've heard nice things about Indonesia. Who scored for Chelsea, says SFC Joe. First one was Neto. So Neto was on the right wing. He cut inside onto his left foot and then smacked it into the corner. Second goal was Enzo Fernandez. A bit of a messy goal from a cross, but a goal's a goal. A goal's a goal at the end of the day. Chipung says Kumaha Damang. I don't know what that means, but I will Google it. Slight delay. How are you? It means how are you? I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm not too bad. If you want me to be specific, I am boiling my whatever off Because in England it's far too hot. But yeah, I'm good other than that. How about you? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Jackie says, what was the whole point of putting that Auckland in the Club World Cup? For jokes, apparently. For jokes. It did kind of borderline feel like bullying, but it is what it is. But yeah, full time in this game. Derwood says, have a good night. Appreciate that. Have a good evening. And yeah, see you soon. Hope you feel better. Hope you feel better soon as well. Mantap means solid. Mantap. Solid. Mantap. The only surprise that's going to happen in this competition is if Auckland City score a goal. Apparently, like I read something like they're not even like a real team. It's like part-timers here and there. Like getting a bit of time off work to play the game. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, that was it as well, yeah. The goalkeeper works in a warehouse and said he's going to be broke for a few months to go to the Club World Cup. Did they have to pay out of their own pocket? That seems a bit harsh. Like surely like FIFA or UEFA, whoever it is, should pay for them, surely. That's harsh if they're making them pay. The goalkeeper is a forklift worker. Well, he's probably quite good at catching things, I think. Or quite good at lifting things in the air. Chipung says, Itu Bahasa Sunda. It's Sudanese. Well, I've learned something new today. It is harsh making them pay out of their own pocket. Especially as Chelsea got like 25 million from this. It's like, come on. Pay, I don't know. How much is a plane ticket really going to be? £1,000 max, and even then. Yeah, I agree with Jackie boy. They should cover all their costs and also pay them a little. Give them a nice little bonus. Pay for all their food as well, I think. You know, pay for their meals and all of that. Treat them properly. That's taking the mick. That is taking the mick. Have you ever watched Michael Owen, Thierry on replay, or are they before your time? I have watched them play. I'll take that as a compliment because people were guessing my age the other day and they kept saying I was like 40, 50, and I was like, oh my god, I am not that old. But yeah, I have seen Michael Owen play. I have seen Thierry on replay. Yeah, I mean, two of the best ever, you gotta say. Henry definitely had that longevity. Michael Owen, of course, very good when he was younger, not so much when he was older, but it is what it is. Chipung says, Kamu Tau Tim Persib Bandung, which basically means, you know the Persib Bandung team? I don't know what that is, bro. Because they're not even on 2K a month playing football. Yeah, you gotta look after the Auckland guys, man. Pay for their flights, pay for their hotel, pay for their food, pay for their laundry. You know, get their shirts washed and all that. Yeah, need to look after them. AFC Dave says, if you shave the beard, you look younger. I would look younger because the grey hairs are not helping. But then the beard gives me like a fake little jawline, if you know what I mean. If I shave the beard, I'm gonna look like Arne Slot, and you don't want anyone who actually looks like Arne Slot. Trust me. SFC Joe says, I would say like you're 35. That is scary accurate because you're just 1 year off. So, but nice. At least that's a accurate estimation. I was getting like 50, like 60, and I was like, what are you guys on? 50? Johnny was trying to set me up with his stepmom, and I was like, "What the fuck?" but I appreciate the compliment. I appreciate the compliment. Any early predictions for next season? What, like in terms of kind of winning the league? I'd like to see Liverpool win the league, but it's going to be tough. Or at least a split in revenue or something. Yeah, just support them. Look after them, because without Auckland, there's no game. I mean, Bayern can't, play against themselves. So need to look after Auckland. Joe is too good. Scary accurate with the predictions. You might need to do the lottery this week, because like your predictions are on cue. Chipung says Kamu Tau Ole Romani. Again, mate, I'm butchering your language here. Dan Marcelino Ferdinand. Alright. If that's the way. Kamu Tau Ole Romani. Dan Marcelino Ferdinand. Are you saying, do I know Ole as in Soakshire? And Mascherano and Ferdinand, if that's what you mean, yeah, I'm familiar with those. Scorpion, get over here. Says Poiraz Tell Me. I don't know what Poiraz Tell Me means, but I know who Scorpion is. Loudmouth Football says the game fell off a bit, but hey, that's football. Very true. We spent most of the time talking about wrestling for some reason, and I don't even watch wrestling. And most of the time talking about club football, to be honest, but it is what it is. But as you said, that is football. AFC Dave said, be honest, Thierry, Henry or Salah, don't be biased. Both amazing players. If we had a game tomorrow and you forced me to put someone in my team, I'd probably slightly be leaning towards Thierry Henry, but both top players. SFC Joe says, I've got to go now. See you. Thanks for the chat. No worries, Joe. Take care. Hope you have a nice evening. Winning the league or dark horse? Oh, winning the league every time. But cool. All right. As Loudmouth Football said, weird ass game, but it is what it is. Better go now, because I have not gone outside all day because it's been boiling hot. So I'm gonna go outside now to work off all the calories that I've consumed throughout the day, and God knows that was a lot of calories. But yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday for the Trent Hate Watch. So yeah, see some of you guys there. Hope you have a nice evening, and hope you have a nice day tomorrow. Take care, guys. Cheers.